Good morning again, everyone. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us on this really, truly historic and auspicious occasion for the history of SUNY Broome Community College in our many incarnations over the years since 1946. Hard to believe it was a long time ago when the founding president envisioned there might be residence for students here on this campus a long time ago. And here we are in 2014 with this beautiful facility that provides the backdrop here today for this ceremony and home for 366 of SUNY Broome's resident students. We are waiting on Assemblywoman Lepardo, so we're going to kind of take it a little slow here for a minute. She's right outside the gate, but I want to welcome all of our any students who are here. Thank you for joining us, faculty and staff. Thank you for coming out and joining this prestigious delegation this morning. Any guest who's just here to celebrate with us, and our distinguished guests who are here with us this morning. We can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy day to come and help us cut the ribbon on a historic new era for SUNY Broome. I want to introduce some of the visiting dignitaries, officials, and electeds who are here with us this morning, some of whom you'll be hearing from during the course of the remarks over the next several minutes here. We have Deputy Broome County Legislator John Bernardo, representing County Executive Debbie Preston. We have Senator Tom Libous, welcome. Donna's on her, there's Donna, hi Donna. Chair of the Broome County Legislature, Jerry Marinich. Dickinson Town Supervisor Mike Marinaccio, in whose town the college sits. Mayor Rich David, Mayor of Binghamton, a sort of alum of SUNY Broome, as most of you know. Former Broome County Executive and current Commissioner of the Department of Motor Vehicles. I don't even need to mention the name, Barbara Fiala. Thank you, Commissioner, for joining us. I think I saw Jason Garner here. Thank you, Jason, for joining us, and chair of the minority in the county legislature. Let's see. When we have Terry Dennis representing Congressman Richard Hanna, Colleen Deacon representing Senator Gillibrand, and I thought Lou was going to be here, but I don't see. Is Lou? Lou is hiding back there. Lou, your tan kind of blended in with the shade of the tent there. Sorry, I missed you. And we also have a number of our trustees here. I hope I got everybody, unless you kind of snuck in the back there. We have, of course, our chair, Jim Warban, who you'll hear from soon. Mark Newman, who was instrumental in helping us with the design phase of this beautiful facility with his background in development and construction. As most of you know, just absolutely invaluable input to the overall design in early phases of this project. Anthony Paniccia, same as I just said about Mark, but also on the design build team. You'll hear more about that in the future, but now a trustee. That was not the case when this project was commenced. Naima Krajian, I know I saw Naima a few minutes ago on our Board of Trustees, and Nick Serafini. Did anybody sneak in on my board that I didn't see? I guess not. Thank you all very much for being here. SUNY Broome has a long tradition of excellence. We've helped shape the future for our students, our community, and well beyond for nearly 70 years. But excellence isn't something we achieve and then simply consider it done. Excellence requires consistent effort. We need to change continuously, keeping pace with changes in technology, society, and culture. At SUNY Broome, we continue our pursuit of excellence with this fabulous facility behind me. More importantly, we continue adding to our degree programs, helping our students find a career path they'll love for today's job market. And we're also transforming our campus with new facilities, such as our cutting-edge Natural Science Center, which we just opened a year ago. Today, we celebrate yet another landmark in our continued pursuit of excellence. The Student Village, our very first residence hall. With it, we joined 25 other SUNY community colleges with on-campus living, which further fosters student learning now 24/7, adding an exciting dimension during a dynamic time in our resident students' lives. Residence halls aren't a new idea for us, as I mentioned. Back in 1969, the master plan called for student housing in the back hills. Since then, we've done housing studies a couple of times over the years, most recently in 2011. But imagine, 1969, housing was in the master plan for the campus. You do have to have an awful lot of patience to be in our line of work. So finally, we broke ground last summer, and by October, we already had students who wanted to live here, in spite of the building itself being sight unseen. And by July, just a couple months ago, we had 40 students on our wait list. This is clearly an idea whose time has come. In fact, it has been so successful that we ended up adding more beds to the larger bedrooms, bringing the complex from a targeted 335 occupants to the 366 who moved in the weekend we opened to be at full capacity. And interest is still coming in. What a great success it has been. And everybody here had a part in that. The Student Village is truly proving to be wildly successful. We are one of only 2 SUNY community colleges whose full-time student enrollment, so far as we know, is actually up this fall. And ours is the only housing facility that is full among the 4 new ones opened over the past year across SUNY community colleges. Neither accomplishment would have been possible without the support of all our academic, student services, and administration operations, along with our faculty in the classrooms. And so again, I want to thank everyone involved with our great success in getting us to this point today. Housing is a big change for us, fairly obvious physically and in many other ways. Still, we can expect and are having a few hiccups along the way. It's only part of the human process when you have 366 students in a whole new way living in their temporary homes here on campus. I'm reminded that Cease Terrell, the same Cease Terrell who thought up the dorms in 1960s, yes, then we called them dorms. We don't today. They're very different, and when you go through it, you'll see. For some of you who actually stayed in dorms like I did, it's very different than any of the dorms we stayed in. It's a residence hall. Truly a village in this town of Dickinson. The story took place, though, even 10 years before that, when this campus was still new. Nothing was paved yet, and the campus was pretty muddy after all of the construction. The faculty went to President Terrell's office to complain about the mud. So Cease told them, I don't see any mud here at all. What I see is an institution in its beginnings that will go and enrich the community. And that's what I see when I look at our student village. There was an awful lot of mud here for a while, not the case anymore. It's in its infant beginnings, just as the college was in 1946. And those who live in it will go out and enrich both our academic community, the Dickinson and Southern Tier community, and the world. As I've said to our trustees and our foundation board members, it takes a village to raise a student village. And what an academic village and community we have that helped us to raise this building. There's no entity you can think of in this county or even in the United States, because our students have federal financial aid that's helping them to pay for this. There is no entity that you can think of that hasn't had a part in helping us to get to this successful point today. Now we have all the reasons someone might want to attend here, both our strong academics and student support programs, and a strong residential presence. We now have the whole package. It's now my great privilege to invite a few of our dignitaries to come up and say a few words with us this morning. And I'd like to start with the folks who've worked so closely on this. This project would not have been possible, thanks to the lovely laws and rules of the state of New York, for us to build this building as the college. It is actually against the law for the college to build a facility like this. So we would not be standing here today with this beautiful building without the support of our fantastic, one of the best in the nation, community college foundations, who owns and funded this project for us with bonds. It was there's a big mortgage on this, but we couldn't have done it without really, truly our fabulous foundation. And it is now my great honor, whom we cannot thank enough, the current chair of our Broome Community College Foundation, Maureen Wilson.
And also, I'm cold now that I came out of the sun, so if I shiver a little, please excuse me. I haven't contacted any rare fevers while I was here. Just my natural disposition. Anyway, good morning. I'd again like to welcome our distinguished guests, the SUNY Broome faculty, students, and staff, and thank you for joining us on this momentous day. The beautiful facility you see behind us, was indeed a labor of love. On behalf of the BCC Foundation and the Board of Directors, I'd like to thank the many, many people who were involved in making this project a success. And it was a labor, indeed, from the feasibility study in 2011 to the meetings with nearby residents, to the hiring of contractors, and then the entire process of construction once the shovel broke the ground last year. As the student village rose, so did the hopes and dreams of all who helped to create it and all who would become its future residents. As you may know, and we just discussed, state law does prohibit community colleges from owning their own residence halls, but the BCC Foundation was happy to step in and created the BCC Housing Development Corporation to make the student village a reality. I'd like to thank all who were involved in this effort, including Margaret Cherna, Mark Newman, Ken Kidder, and Dr. Drum, who joined me on the Housing Board, Foundation member and trustee Anthony Paniccia, the executive administrative staff of the college, and Foundation Executive Director Kathy Williams and her predecessor, Judy Siggins. Just to have a moment to offer up a little applause for all of those people who put efforts in well beyond anyone's expectations. I'd also like to thank First Niagara Bank, whose representatives are here this morning, who provided our financing. I would especially like to note that the first floor lounge will be dedicated in honor of Dr. Judy Siggins in recognition of her tireless efforts on behalf of the foundation and the college for this project and many others. Thanks there, Vanna. That honor was revealed some time ago when Judy retired, but now it's a reality. You can come have coffee in your lounge. To our new students, welcome to campus and best wishes for a bright future. I'd like to bring Kevin back because he knows what's going on here, so I won't try to introduce anyone else. Thank you.
Next, the foundation created a sub-corporation, first an LLC, and now it's actually, I think we finally got our 501c3 blessing from the feds after all that 501c3 stuff that happened down there, the IRS, through the last political cycle. Took a lot longer than was expected. But the foundation set up a separate LLC, now a 501c3 housing corporation, and one of the, if not the first person to step up from the foundation board to be a part of the new housing board was a longtime supporter, adjunct faculty member, and former my hometown Shenango town supervisor, but then a foundation board member, stepped right up to be a part of the sub-corporation, our housing corporation, and right away agreed to be chair. It is such an honor and a pleasure to introduce Margaret Cherna, chair of our housing board. Come on up, Margaret.
I I was told I could lower this, and I guess it worked. And now you can see me because the mic is down. Barbara Fayella and I used to have a real camaraderie when she was county clerk, and we were at many meetings together. Thank you all for coming here today. It seems like just yesterday that many of you joined me here on this very spot to break ground on our campus housing. In the past 15 months, we've watched the building take shape, from a muddy hole in the ground to a gorgeous 4-story building, complete with luxury accommodations, and I do mean luxury, for our new residents. There are so many people to thank, beginning with the BCC Foundation Board of Directors whose support made financing available for the project. Special mention goes out to Maureen Wilson, Board President, and Ken Kidder, Vice President, who along with Mark Newman, College Trustee, served on the Housing Development Board of Directors. I would also like to thank Anthony Paniccia, BCC Foundation Board Member and Trustee, for his leadership and expertise throughout the project. With all of this support and many volunteer hours, this project may not have come to fruition. I'd like to recognize the dedication of Judy Siggins, our former executive director, who retired right after I got on the foundation board. I don't know if there was a connection there. And Kathy Williams, Judy's successor, because without their time, energy, and leadership, we would have no doubt struggled. I would like to ask you to join me in thanking them. I didn't know Maureen was going to do this, and now I'm going to ask you to thank them. Of course, this project would not have been completed had it not been for the vision of President Drum. His desire to see the college transform from a solely commuter campus to a residential one is the reason we all stand here today. In addition, we must thank the college administrative team, especially Debbie Morello, Vice President, college trustees, committed faculty and staff, and our students who embraced this project and worked to see it through to completion. Without this dedicated team, we would not be celebrating this opening today. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Bob Ross, who could not be here today, but he was our consultant who really spearheaded this project and got us on the right track. The commitment of our design build team, led by Kyle Tuttle from LP Simonelli, and Jeff Edson from William H. Lane Construction, Todd Grumman from Delta Engineers, and Tanae from JMZ Architects. They produced an amazing building on time and on budget. I'm proud to be standing here today as the president of the BCC Housing Corporation with all of you as we celebrate this momentous and historic occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret, very much. And as I said, it takes a village to raise a student village, and we could not have done this without the support of our great Broome County leadership. This is college land. You just heard the college can't do it in the state of New York. So the county had to support this project by actually changing the county regulations in the process and leasing the land to our wonderful foundation. So on behalf of the county, where our county executive, I think everyone would know why, couldn't join us today, it's an honor to ask Chairman Jerry Marinich of our Broome County Legislature to say a few words this morning.
Oh, thank you all for coming today, and thank you for inviting me to speak on behalf of the county and on behalf of County Executive Debbie Preston. I'm here to represent both her and the county. And as you can see, and you've heard speakers talk about the number of people it takes to make a project like this to come to fruition. And it takes a lot of effort. The county played a small part, but we certainly support it in a large part. We do everything we can to help the county find the funds necessary to help the community college. And I just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to be part of this. And again, we wish you the best success going forward. Now, I guess it's my turn to introduce someone that I've known for a short period of time, going back to junior high school. And good friend of mine, good friend of everyone here, a good friend of the community, and also a great friend of SUNY Broome. Back when he went to school here, it was Broome Community College. And when we graduated high school together, I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going up to BCC." I says, "I'm going to take my service in another direction." But here we are back here together again after all these years, and my good friend and your good friend, Senator Tom Libous.
Thank you, Jerry. Dr. Drum, 1971, when I was a student here in the fall, we talked about student housing, and we were, I think, still Broome Tech becoming BCC at that time. But this has been something that I know has been very important to you, and I just want to congratulate you for your leadership in bringing this together. You know, a lot of names were mentioned. I don't want to repeat what has been said, but certainly it takes an awful lot of people to put a project like this together. But it does take a leader and someone who has the passion, and I know that this has been something that Dr. Drum had envisioned from the time he came here. So if I may call you Kevin, sir, I say congratulations and best wishes. It is now my honor to introduce to you my colleague in Albany, my partner, Assemblywoman Donna Lopardo.
Thank you, Tom. And I'd like to echo your comment about Kevin's leadership. We wouldn't certainly be here today without him and the efforts of many of you. It does seem like only yesterday for us who came for the opening, for the groundbreaking, and now we're here today. You know, sitting here, this reminds me of one of my favorite movies, Field of Dreams. How many of you love that movie? And it reminds me of a line from that movie, and not the line, "If you build it, they will come," because clearly you built it and the students came. But I guess the line that I'm thinking of sitting here is, "Go the distance." Remember that line, "Go the distance." And 45 years later, after 1969, you have clearly gone the distance. You have overcome numerous challenges, and with your persistence and hard work, you have this wonderful village, not a dorm, village that we can be very proud of. It adds just an enormous value, not only to the campus, but to what we're trying to do in this community to make ourselves more student-friendly, because we see the value and the importance that students bring to our area. So I guess, in a way, this has been constructed in your own Field of Dreams, and I'm very, very appreciative to be here and congratulate you. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished electeds. We appreciate your support. Students in here not only have federal financial aid money who are helping to pay their stay here, they also have state financial aid that is helping to pay their stay here. I really meant it when I said it takes it takes a very large village to raise a student village. And now our neighbor, to get on to our final elected, who I'd like to ask to say a few words. As I mentioned earlier, the college physically sits in the town of Dickinson. I tell you a quick story. Before I even arrived here, I don't tell them, I got a letter from our wonderful town supervisor, who's become a great colleague and friend, regarding his concern about building a residence hall on campus. And through the course of the time, as we went through this process, Mike became one of our biggest supporters in getting this facility built. And we had lots of issues through the construction process that we had to overcome to get this built. And it would have been a lot more difficult and maybe impossible without Mike's and the town's support. So I'd like to have Mike say a few words in support of the project. Come on up, Mike.
I didn't have that many concerns. They wanted to build it behind the neighborhood there, and I said, build it on the side of the neighborhood and everybody will be happy. And I think everybody's happy. So good morning, everyone. I'm really not prepared to say a whole lot, and that's a good thing. But you know, you've heard the phrases, small step or a giant leap and so forth. Well, this project was definitely a giant leap for Broome County, for the college, and for the town of Dickinson. And I think your research and your studies prior to building this beautiful, beautiful village was spot on. This is a great success. So congratulations to everyone involved in this project, and looking forward to the second phase. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And I think I saw Trustee Akel come in the back there somewhere. I don't know if any other trustees have snuck in. Somebody's pointing at somebody, but I can't see who they're pointing at. Who? George, yes, I see. Okay. Anybody else beside George sneak in on me there? Okay. So representing the trustees, where this project could never have commenced, the president might have lots of presidents have visions for big things, or you probably wouldn't get hired as president in the first place, but you can't even begin without the support of your trustees. And so much of the change here that has happened in the 4.5 years I've been here. I know, Don, it does seem like I just got here or that we just broke ground, but I've actually been here 4.5 years, hard to believe. But so much of the transformation here of the campus is due to the tremendous leadership that our trustees provide and what they bring to the table in support of everything we do here. Our current chair of our Board of Trustees is James Orban, and I'd like to have Jim come on up and close the formal remarks.
Thank you, Kevin. Distinguished guests, SUNY Broome students, faculty, staff, good morning on this special day that's been a long time coming. On behalf of the SUNY Broome Board of Trustees, I want to thank everyone who helped make this day possible, from the BCC Foundation and its Board of Directors to the contractors and workers that built this incredible facility, the college administrators, the Faculty Student Association, Jeff and Monica in the housing office, the student resident assistants, and of course, our student residents themselves. We are grateful for your hard work, your enthusiasm, and your hornet spirit. But I want to especially thank SUNY Broome's president, Dr. Kevin Drum, for keeping the vision alive. When he first came to the college in 2010, Dr. Drum envisioned transforming SUNY Broome into a residential campus to provide more options for our students. Thank you, Dr. Drum, for staying the course these past 4 years and helping make this dream a reality. Your vision will have a great and lasting impact on the college and its students for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair Orban. At this, I'm going to take just a little departure here. There are a number of people without whom this project would not be possible and would not have been on time. And so many of you are here. And I want to bring them up. I want to bring up Kathy Williams. I want to bring up Debbie Morello, Anthony, Kyle, Tanae. Come on up. Come on up. Because I want to thank this incredible team. Margaret, Maureen. I want to thank Ken, Mark Newman. Come on up, please. We got a cheering section in the hall. Thank you so much. I mean, this is just a I mean, this is the leadership team that it took to get this building up. Jerry, come on up. Come on up. We could, again, if the county didn't lease us the land, we wouldn't be here. I mean, this is just a small representation of the kind of community effort it took to build this facility. And it's one of the things I love so much about community colleges is that we are the community's college, and it really takes the community joining together to get things done, and we did it in this case. Thank you all very, very much. We're forever in your debt. And we're forever in First Niagara's debt, too. Well, hopefully not forever, but probably for the next 30 years. Thank you. Okay, in just a few moments, we will cut the ceremonial ribbon on our historic student village. In closing, I'd like to welcome all of our students, those here and not here with us at the moment, to this glorious start of our school year. Thank the Lord for the beautiful day. We lucked out with these events recently, and it was just as nice, almost as nice as this on our move-in day, thankfully. And our residential students, I want to thank them for having faith in us, for believing in a building that was sight unseen and hadn't ever been operated before. And I want to thank all of our traditional commuter students who still make up 97% of our student body. And we need to stay focused on our core mission all the time. And also, we have one of the fastest growing and largest online presences throughout all of SUNY. Another aspect you never see, but we should be very, very proud of. We are a leader across SUNY and a leader in Open SUNY, the Chancellor's initiative to open up SUNY to people all across the state and around the world who don't have the luxury of being able to live on campus or even commute to campus for family or business or physical reasons, but who are all still a part of the SUNY Broome academic community. The success of this facility and housing program is due to that great leadership team that I just introduced and many others, and we can't thank them all enough. I'd like to offer a very special thanks to the SUNY Broome Community College Board of Trustees, and especially Mark Newman and now Anthony Panicia, who have dedicated so much volunteer time and effort to this project. It's extraordinary. By Kyle's calculation, what we did with this building puts us literally millions of dollars ahead of most of the other projects like it across all of SUNY, and is due to the tremendous experience, expertise, and leadership in large part of Mark Newman's and Anthony Panicia's, and I cannot thank them enough. Again, the BCC Foundation and its board of directors, there are many of the board members here. We thank you for underwriting this project and owning it for us. Our college administration, but also Kathy Williams and Debbie Morello, who lived this project 24/7 for June, July, and August in order to get it open on time and full. Our Faculty Staff Association, which operates the building for the Housing Corporation, that's our auxiliary arm here at the college. All of our student affairs staff who helped get our students oriented and advised and through the financial aid process and all the very complex process. If you've ever been or you've taken your children through the financial aid process, it's much more complicated when you're throwing in room and board. Virtually everyone on campus had a role in this project. Our facilities, our maintenance and facilities staff helped out throughout the entire project and help out every day. I want to thank the community of Dickinson again, and on behalf of everyone at the college, our foundation and board of trustees, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks and appreciation to each and every one of you who came to support us today, and so many of whom who support us on a day-to-day basis with everything this wonderful college does. I want to express once again my appreciation for the magnificent teamwork, including my wife is in the audience somewhere, an invisible member of my team most of the time, but an incredible member of the team. Thanks for coming. This is one of the few special events that she's been able to attend, and I appreciate her support as well for all that time I'm not at home when she'd like me to be there. So everyone who helped us reach this milestone today. Your hard work will bear fruit long into the future for decades and decades. And now, thank you again, and let's cut the ribbon.